Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to talk about the latest episode of Stargirl. It was called The Evidence. As it begins, we see Cameron perusing a collection of snow globes at home, and one seems to be of Courtney, which he stares at seemingly affectionately before making several attempts to freeze it. The last attempt of which causes it to overfreeze, at which point he drops it and it shatters, causing his grandparents to tell him that he's just learning and it takes time and to keep practicing and don't worry about it. Next, we see Cosmo literally get Courtney out of bed, though she's not entirely sure why, and then it flies her out the window unexpectedly. When it lands her at the gambler's wrecked trailer, she finds Sylvester very much incapacitated and wounded. At the hospital, he's unconscious with a huge puncture in his back, according to Beth's mom, the doctor, who is a little freaked out because she knows that Beth is knee deep in all of this stuff as Dr. Midnight. Courtney is very distraught about what happened to Sylvester, and HOURMAN wonders during a phone call with Yolanda if whatever attacked the gambler is coming after them now. Sylvester wakes up in quite a bit of pain and explains that he went to the crime scene trying to find new clues, but that he can't identify who attacked him. Pat calls in the original Dr. Midnight to see if he can help them figure out who's behind these attacks. And we see that someone is watching over these proceedings in the hospital room as he examines Sylvester for clues via surveillance camera. Upon realizing that his wounds are healing really quickly, Dr. Midnight surmises that Sylvester had been imbued with cosmic energy from the staff over the years that he used it, which healed him over a period of time when he was dead and which is now just part of him. Current Dr. Midnight, Beth, and Stargirl go to investigate the trailer along with Yolanda, HOURMAN, and Cindy, but they pretty much come up empty in terms of clues, and Yolanda is still suspicious of Cindy. Just as they're about to leave the trailer, Beth does in fact detect a clue, a skin cell that doesn't belong to Sylvester. Upon returning back to Courtney's house with Pat, Sylvester questions whether he should even continue trying to be Starman, even part-time. Upon examining the skin cell closely, both doctors Midnight determine that it came from the Dragon King, Cindy's father, because it's like a dragon scale cell. When Yolanda and HOURMAN suspect that Cindy is working with her father, Courtney explains there's no way she would do that, given that he treated her like a lab rat and experimented on her when she was a kid. That, since he's dead, she's free of all that, and there's no way that even if he came back, she would ever have anything to do with him. Speaking of Cindy, she seems to be feeling the effects of that potion she drank a couple of episodes ago, and for all we know, has been drinking ever since. She's at her lab or whatever, and she just doesn't feel right, and her body's making kind of weird noises, and she's just kind of in pain, and it's, oof, yikes. Mike and his friend, who owns Thunderbolt, decide to go looking for Dragon King in the tunnels under Blue Valley. They figure if he's still alive, maybe he's hiding out in the tunnels. Courtney's mom gives a presentation at work, and her boss is very enthusiastically in support of it. And when she tells Paula about it, Paula is very pleased. And in fact has brought Courtney's mom a taxidermy that she did herself. I wasn't really clear what animal it was, but yeah, she brought her a taxidermy, and Courtney's mom was like, thanks. But yeah, she intimidated the boss at the end of the last episode. That's why he's so keen to be supportive of Courtney's mom, and it was super hilarious. Back over at Courtney's house, Sportsmaster shows up with some beers, which at first Sylvester reacts badly to, but then decides to ease up on, and Sportsmaster stays to watch a movie with them. When Courtney finds Cameron brooding over his situation in the art lab at school, he explains that he feels like he needs to quit art because he just can't seem to make any anymore, which she thinks he shouldn't do because he loves it, and because if anything, it'll help him get over the stuff he's been through lately. And when she offers to help him, he says that she can't, which she thinks is incorrect. And when she touches him to reassure him, he explodes in an icy fit. Afterwards, he explains that what he's been dealing with is called cryokinesis, and that his grandparents want him to develop it so that he can use it to help people, which is interesting to me because I had thought all this time that the opposite was the case. Somewhere along the line, I got the idea in my head that his dad was a villain and that his grandparents were trying to groom him to be a villain. So I was confused by that, but hey, if it's going the other way, nobody would be happier with that than I. So that's cool. When Sylvester says that he's thinking he needs to hang up Starman altogether once again, Pat shows him the costume he made, and Sylvester decides not to hang up his alter ego just yet. Hourman and Yolanda go looking for Courtney, but not finding her. They let Sylvester in on what's happening with the Dragon King, and he decides to go with them as Starman into the tunnels. This, of course, was met with excitement by both Hourman and Yolanda. In a really great scene, Courtney helps Cameron understand that he doesn't have to be afraid of his abilities and that he can use them positively by repeating to him what Sylvester had told her about how to harness and control her abilities by channeling her hope and love. And upon her doing that, he's able to safely use his cryokinesis to make it snow, which leads to a kissy kissy moment, which I thought was very cool. Yay! So they're out on a walk. They stop at a gazebo. It's nighttime. And there was just a very cool and romantic scene between the two of them. And I just thought it was a really great scene, and that both actors did a really good job. This what's her name? Bessinger, this Brett Bessinger. She's a really good actor. She does a really good job in the part. As the episode ends, we see that Cindy is developing scales on her skin like a dragon might have, and which might give off cells like the ones found at the crime scene, which the team presently suspects are from her father, but which may not be from him, apparently. Boy, I'd hate to think that she's doing villain stuff. That would really bother me. I still don't think she is, but it's not looking good. So I'm really concerned. I really want that character to be redeemed and to be a good guy. But yeah, that's where it ended. And the show now is off until October 5th. So they're skipping a week. I really did like this episode. This show is always very much full of heart. Sometimes the scenes get a little cheesy and it goes a little too over to the, the heartfelt side is a little too much of it in some episodes, but just a little. And, I'm someone who really likes stories with heart, and this show definitely has it. I think it moved the plot forward. I think it's really good at moving the plot forward, this show. It, takes more steps and more steps every episode towards filling in the blanks of what's been happening. And I think that's cool. I like that we got to see the whole team in costume this episode. We got to see the original Dr. McNider, which was really cool. I totally like the stuff between Courtney and Cameron. I think that's really good stuff. I was pleasantly surprised, like I said, to learn that his grandparents are trying to help him control his powers so that he can help people. I thought that was a good turn of events because I thought the other was happening. As I said, they were going the opposite direction, but they're not. I remain concerned about Sylvester. I don't think he's right. Like they say that, something ain't right. I'm not convinced that everything's right with Sylvester. I think, he's messed up. And I think it has something to do with the fact that he was dead and came back. We don't know what he was like before, but he definitely seems to have like anger issues and just this sort of bubbling like need to like break stuff, under the surface. And I'm concerned about it. And from the preview, it looks like in the next episode, when the show comes back, they're going to talk about that. So, because I don't think he's going to last past this season. I can't imagine them going forward in a season 4 if there's to be one with 2 star people. I think it's something they're doing for this season. So I don't expect him to necessarily be around, and I wouldn't be surprised if he dies again, and this time it's permanent, but that remains to be seen. Anyway, that's my review. I'm going to get out of here. Before I do, I want to ask you to please give the video a like if you wouldn't mind, and to subscribe to the channel, and to check out my Teespring store where you can get t-shirts and other merch with the channel logo and other designs on them. It would really help out the channel. Until I return with more reviews and other content, I wish you peace and long life.